Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Oh, it's over. It's over. Terence Crawford gonna get knocked out. I get that shit 3 rounds. He's up out of here. If Canelo can land his creative magic, Guadalajara and Jalisco bomb of a right hand. Canelo's got the equalizer. He's got the answer. He may have the key to figure out the Bud Vinci code. The straight right hand is what it's going to be. Or it could be the left hook. Now, you know, Crawford out there, like, I see everything. He peeking. He probably got little moles in the Canelo camp. But let me tell you this. That straight right of Canelo, that shit lands on the button, which I believe it is. Crawford's up out of here against a southpaw. Everybody who follows boxing knows this. Shit. Hood champion sore, boy. I was out there working out today and shit. Ran an hour with the weighted vest on. Actually went live, so we'll check it out. But against the southpaw, man, that Orthodox fighter straight right hand is the most direct, high percentage weapon. It's a deadly weapon. You know who? One fighter threw that right hand better than everyone else who put on a pair of gloves in the last 20, 30 years, and that was Floyd Mayweather. But for Canelo Álvarez, Guadalajara, Jalisco's finest, I'm telling you, yeah, when he throws that right hand, he'll loop it, he'll come over the top, but you have seen him, man, straighten it up. He throws several variations with that right hand. Right cross, right to the body, overhand, short right inside. All of that shit is going to work against the southpaw, Terence Crawford. When that right hand Canelo, when he lets that go, it travels down the open lane, which Crawford's hands are not always up in a high guard. His hands are down by his waist. Crawford likes to keep his hands low. What the young boys say, facts. I'm not making that up. Go watch his fights. But, he can get away with a lot of that because he knows his distance, he knows his range, he knows he has long arms, and normally when he's at that range and he gets you to react and try to hit him, he's countering. So I don't know if he's going to have that kind of success against Canelo, but what I do know is if Canelo can get that right hand off, it traveled down the open lane between the lead hands, bypassing the southpaw's jab, the guard, and landing on the exposed side of the head or body is going to be all bad for Terence Crawford. And this is the thing. Check this out. Canelo didn't have to train this shit. This is textbook Canelo. That's what he does. Time and time again. Year after year after year. He ain't go to camp and work on his right hand. He probably sharpened it up a little bit. Put a little more, TNT in them gloves. So he can detonate them Guadalajara, Jalisco bombs on Crawford's chin. He ain't playing around with him. This shit with Canelo, this right hand of his is not just some kind of textbook tactics. This is his life. And I'm telling you right now, Crawford could be having all the success in the world. That right hand of Canelo is a fight-shaping weapon. And if he lands that on Crawford, the fight could be going Crawford's way, but if Canelo lands that, the fight is going to immediately shift the direction of the Mexican, and he is going to prove to everyone why small guys or even big guys shouldn't be coming around, effing around with him at 168. Because he is the king of that division, and ain't nobody taking his crown. You see, Crawford, that southpaw style, man, it just gives Canelo angles, you know what I'm saying? But it also gives Crawford some angles, but it opens up that lane, you know what I'm saying? So there's some pros and cons for Crawford, some pros and cons for Canelo when Crawford's in the southpaw stance. But I just think there's a big time dilemma here when it comes to Terence Crawford and Canelo and foot positioning and stuff like that. I'm trying to think, right? I told some stories here about me. I'm right-handed, but I was always more comfortable in the southpaw stance. But I just think when you have these guys who are aware of each other's stances and they're aware of those matchups, it can kind of, it's like stance matchups can kind of dictate which punches are most available. And Canelo's going to see what's in front of him. The straight right, I know that they already know. As soon as Crawford comes out, if he's in a southpaw stance, first second of the first bell or the first round, expect Canelo to throw that right hand and put some heat on there, some hot sauce on there. Make that shit caliente and just burn Crawford's ass up in that first round where Crawford's saying, holy shit, what did I get myself into? This shit is real. The worst thing that happened to Terence Crawford is him being in that first round and all of a sudden Canelo has big time success. It's not even about disrupting rhythm, right? He gets Crawford's respect and now Crawford gets on his bicycle. That's all bad. But the thing is, right? Easier said than done. Because Canelo knows Crawford is a good fighter, good counterpuncher. You ask Canelo, he'll tell him Crawford can't win. That's what he said. He said he can't win. He won't win. He can't win. I said, damn, Canelo, well, you know something that I don't know? He said, he can't win. He just don't want to hear nothing about that bullshit. The small man needs to stay away. He put some respect on my name. You're going to FAFO is what Canelo's saying. Now, the thing is, he's got to throw that shit without hesitation. You can't come in there now, Canelo. You got this open lane, this big old Nebraskan head right there in front of you, this big Crawford face in front of you, and you hesitating to throw your right hand. Crawford will tear your ass apart, pick you apart, make you look stupid. So for me, one of the dangers with Canelo is overthinking. He can't be in there overthinking. Crawford's a master at reading hesitation. Even I and you can see if somebody's hesitating. You watch their nonverbals, watch their eyes, watch their body. Be like, oh man, this MF is scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. So if he's hesitating or Canelo all of a sudden starts telegraphing or delaying the shots that he should be throwing, expect them counters to come down. Bing, bing, bing. That's why Canelo's got to commit to the straight right. When the opening appears, throw it. Just throw it. Put some heat on it. Some hot sauce on it. And then fall into Crawford and clinch him if you have to. Or bump him. Whatever you need to get him off balance. Because Crawford's going to... I think he's going to try to counter him. But I think Crawford's also going to be thinking about defense too. Because he knows he can't let Canelo touch him. But I just feel when it comes to Canelo, he could have a career best performance against Terence Crawford. But he's got to be decisive. Like he's got to enter the ring and say, I'm going to be decisive when it comes to my offense. I'm going to be decisive when it comes to my defense. I'm going to step in behind the shot rather than pawn with the jab. You know what I mean? And one thing for sure, he can't be waiting. You heard the old saying, right? Wait broke the wagon down. You want his wagon to be broke down? Well, keep waiting. And when it breaks down, Crawford going to be standing on top of you, binging you. And the referee going to be giving your ass an 8 count. So, smaller man moving up, hesitation going to give away the size advantage. So, he definitely cannot hesitate because Crawford is going to capitalize. Now, the right hand, there's so many different ways Canelo can throw the right hand. And when he's throwing it and when he's having success, he is hurting opponents, knocking them out. He's getting the upper hand. You see that classic cross? Left hand jab, bing, right hand. Teddy Atlas cracks me up when he's in there like shadow boxing. You swear to God, Teddy Atlas will whip somebody's ass in real life the way he be out there shadow boxing and shit. But over the top of Crawford's jab, aiming to the temple or the chin, or bringing it over the top of the right hand, but straight down the pipe. Bing, temple, chin. Get it right over Crawford's jab. Nothing Crawford going to be able to do. And throwing that right to the body, under Crawford's lead elbow. sapping the legs for the later rounds. Then the overhand right. That's what got Jermell Charlo up out of there. Looping over whatever shot Crawford's throwing, catching him on top of the head. Crawford may try to parry, he may try to react, but if Canelo throws that overhand right, Crawford ain't going to be able to defend against it because most of the times his hands are down. Then the short right inside. Canelo at some point in time in that fight is going to get in close. So people don't want to hear that. They think Bud's going to be able to avoid him the whole fight. There's a little bit of that Deontay Wilder shit here when it comes to Canelo where it's like, yo, his opponents can be, they can be fighting the perfect fight. But all Canelo has to do is be perfect for 1 second. And then it's all over. And I just think, man, if he can slip Crawford's jab, slip Crawford's hook, and get inside and start throwing them short shots, he's going to hurt Crawford badly. Because when Canelo throws, he tries to punch through you. And I just think that's all bad. And then, of course, you know, the step through right hand. Closing the distance aggressively, which is what Canelo does, to surprise Bud mid-movement, man. So step through, then boom, drop that right hand. There's so many variations, but those are 5. And I'm just telling you, when it comes to Canelo messing around with Terence Crawford, he's going to have a moment. He's going to have a moment where he's going to land clean rights on Crawford. And especially if Crawford's in the southpaw stance. And a guy like Canelo can land that, especially when he's disguising what's coming with feints or jab setups. We know Canelo can't out-jab Terence Crawford. But trust me, when he's throwing his jab, he ain't necessarily trying to hurt Crawford. He's trying to set up the shots that could destabilize Terence Crawford, tranquilize him. And Crawford has got to be aware of that because, look, Canelo throws punches in a way that make you think he's going downstairs and he comes upstairs, or make you think he's going upstairs and he goes downstairs, or make you think he's going to loop the shot and he brings it straight up the middle. So that's what makes this fight so interesting. Can Crawford figure that out? Can he deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Now, there are some fighters who have had some success against Terence Crawford while he was a southpaw, and they were able to touch him. Sean Porter, he snuck overhand rights when Bud was in the southpaw stance. But, you know, Sean Porter uses a lot of feints, foot feints, upper body feints, and he will throw. One thing about Sean Porter, he doesn't hesitate. He commits. And that's why he had a lot of success. And that's why before Crawford stopped him, the concern was that Crawford was down on the scorecards. Of course, we know we talk about a lot about Kavaliauskas, but he was landing straight right hands, man, you know, early when Crawford was southpaw. And he was catching him, you know, mid-stance switch. So Kavaliauskas was able... Look, listen. If Adidjas Kavaliauskas can make the reads when Crawford was, you know, moving faster at 147, but Kavaliauskas can make the reads, he's switching, and then bing, just throw and land. Y'all acting like Canelo not going to do that? Anyway, I don't like talking about this guy, but even Gamboa, he was landing quick right hands over the top. But he was much smaller. Gamboa was much faster than these guys. So he's always gotten there with his shots at his opponents. You know, and Gamboa's downfall was his chin, but we can't sit here and act like Gamboa didn't have skill and power. He did. But it just goes to show you, those are a couple of names of guys, and there are more, but who have had success, especially with Crawford being in the southpaw stance. Now, you may say, all right, well, look, he may go Orthodox. All right, go Orthodox, you know what I'm saying? Look, Kell Brook was landing jabs and hooks before Bud adjusted. He was touching Bud up when they fought. Bud even said he was strong. He said Kell Brook was strong. 2 people I heard Bud talk about, he said he said 3. Madrimov was strong, Kavaliauskas could crack, and Kell Brook could crack. He said he was strong. So the bottom line is, Kell Brook touched him up when Crawford was in the Orthodox stance. Victor Postol touched him with lead hooks when Crawford was in Orthodox early. So Victor Postol had some success early. And Hank Lundy was catching with overhands and hooks. Hank Lundy was doing them kind of nasty them first 2 rounds, maybe them first 3 rounds. But then, Crawford did what he does, figured some things out. All of a sudden, from whatever stance he chooses to be in, he starts making opponents reset and started timing them. And then, ultimately what happened to the guys who've had success against Crawford, the only one is Marjamov, who kind of, in the last fight made it to the finish line, but Crawford starts, finishing people. But again, when it come back to Canelo, let me tell you, his feints, shoulder dips, half jabs, subtle weight shifts, bending his knees, all of that stuff can set up the straight right or set up his left hook. Crawford's going to bite on something. If not, then that means if he's not going to clam up and go full defense because now Canelo's feinting and dipping and jabbing and shifting his weight, Crawford's either going to go full defense or he's going to go offense. He's gonna time Canelo and say, okay, when he does this, he does that. And now Canelo's out there trying to feint, and Crawford's going to counter Canelo's feints. That's how brilliant Terence Crawford is. But at the end of the day, those feints that Canelo are doing are very crucial to setting up his big right hand and left hook. When Canelo fought Saunders, look, that movement versus the southpaw versus the Orthodox, I'm just telling you, just shows Canelo how he does know how to use footwork and foot positioning and feints to create openings. And that's what he did. He uses his eyes to look at one target, like the body. He's watching your body, and then boom, he fires to the head. It's like playing basketball. I don't know how many of y'all play basketball. You get the ball, I may be looking here, I get it, jab step, boom, and I go the other way. But Canelo uses every part of his body to sell what he really wants to do. Next thing you know, he froze you, and for that split second, you're there stiff, and Canelo lands clean. And for Terence Crawford, that's what he's going to look to do. And I think he has a really good chance on doing that. So at 168, Crawford will be carrying extra muscle, but it's for a purpose. He's supposed to have the speed of a welterweight, power of a super middleweight. But, maybe that means more power. But also a slight dip in reaction speed is probably more realistic. But I just think, even with Crawford being a fraction slower, I just think for Crawford, that's all bad because now Canelo has more time to land a straight right or land a left hook. Hopefully Crawford and his team knew what they were doing. They're brilliant people. I'm just telling you, Canelo versus Crawford, can Bud's power hurt Alvarez at 168? We're going to find out, but the weight, I got my coffee right here. The weight could affect Bud's explosiveness, and if that's the case, Canelo will exploit it. He will exploit it. So the bottom line is that the fight within the fight is it's pretty simple. Crawford, when he's southpaw, Canelo, straight right, must be decisive, vary it. There's so many different variations. He can throw the right hand, set it up with feints, use his eyes also to sell his shots. When Crawford's orthodox, the left hook to the head and body become the primary weapon. Bold punches must be thrown with conviction. Canelo can't hesitate. He got to look to take Bud's head off his shoulders. But the eye work, I talk about Crawford, his eyes can see everything. Canelo's eyes also see everything, but sets up his offense too. This fight, I said, was a battle. It's all about who has the better stamina, but it's also, now that I think about it, could have a lot to do with that eye work. That eye work, man. But when it comes to Canelo, I'm just telling you, if he can consistently land these shots, especially with the timing edge that may come from Crawford's added weight, he's going to mess around, turn what we think is going to be a tactical chess match into a punishing fight. And it's going to be on Canelo's terms. So some of y'all don't want to hear that shit. I just got to be real. You watch. You ain't gonna see Crawford fight this whole fight Orthodox. He's more comfortable southpaw stance. And you watch. It's gonna be everything. It's like that song. To the left, to the left, to the right, now dip, baby, shit. Canelo gonna be in there talking about to the derecha, to the derecha. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. And Crawford gonna be talking about something. Better dip. No, Bomac gonna be saying, better dip. Better dip. Don't get hit by that shit. Had a damn Cupid shuffle popping off in the ring, man. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I just think I want to see what Canelo's, if Eddie Reynoso in the camp is emphasizing to Canelo when to throw the straight right, the different type of rights to throw. You know, getting him to understand when to switch to the hook, how to layer the feints. Man, this fight can't get hit quick enough. Anyway, I'm tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's only 5:32. I think because I went running in the sun. I got a little bit of headache. Running in the sun, man, with that weighted vest. So it's 6-7 miles up them hills. Man, that shit been messing with me. I go finish this coffee and drink some water. That being said, y'all keep cool, man. Canelo's deadliest weapons, right hand and left hook. But I really think it's going to be all right hand. Right hand crazy. Death by 1,000 right hands. If he can come in there and consistently land that right hand on Crawford, ain't no way Crawford stands up to that shit. Y'all keep cool. Become a member to the channel. In the breeze.